This is the developer of Stratoskirmish. I'm going to be playing through my beta demo today and showing off the full game as well as giving some commentary on my game design thought process. Before I begin, I'd like to point out a few things. I'm going to be playing at the arcade difficulty today, although the default for the beta demo is beginner difficulty. To change this, you'll want to go down to settings and switch over the difficulty from beginner to arcade. There's a number of them and they cycle through. The primary difficulty I'm developing the game at is the arcade difficulty. I'm also going to be playing with gadgets on. As you can see on the left-hand side of the screen, there is an indicator of my input, as well as a score and live counter, both currently set to 0. I'm going to hit arcade start and begin the game. The opening stage consists of winding paths, with targets that are easy to shoot. Primarily weak single-shot tanks are here, though there is a few medium tanks sprinkled in for good measure. This should give the player a bit of time to familiarize themselves with the controls, movement, side-to-side panning and dodging, and overall mechanics of the game. This should present the player with a low-risk environment, though not for long. We're going to be coming up on the first mid-boss here. As it moves backwards through the street, there will be other columns of tanks that drive backwards away, that fire off a few shots but otherwise prevent little threat to the player. Here we reach the halfway point of the stage, where we encounter our first flamethrower tanks. These shoot indirect shots at the player, but can be devastating to the support aircraft that the player can call. Here we see our first end-stage boss. With some basic tap dodging and misdirects, this enemy should go down pretty easily, and present little challenge to the player. Since we didn't die, we receive a no-miss bonus. This bonus will be smallest on the first stage, but will be larger for subsequent stages. We also receive a bonus for the number of enemies we killed, as well as the number of pieces of gold we collected. Here we go through stage 2, a somewhat more difficult, but overall still moderately easy stage. Simple intuition and basic dodging should be enough to get through this. We enter our second boss here. Here I perform a simple round-the-world trick to misdirect some of these turrets and get them aiming away from me. I point blank this one here on the left and end up taking it out to present less of a threat. Then I just perform some simple tap dodges. And take this out. As you can see, our no-miss bonus was greater here. A keen eye may notice that I received the score extend here, with the L going from 2 to 3. The present score extend is awarded at 40,000, though this, like many other things in this game, may change in the future. Stage 3 is where things really start heating up and is a good representation of the difficulty I want to present throughout the majority of the game. You're going to see my first use of the arrow torpedoes, the special weapon of this game. It's a squadron of fighters that functions similar to the ones in Twin Hawk, or Daizenbu for those who have played it. These fighters will stay alive as long as they or the player is not hit, potentially making them extremely advantageous. These assistant aircraft will be more numerous and have more hit points on lower difficulties. I look forward to the strategies that players will develop using these when the final game releases. We approach our third boss, the Ironclad, which is the most difficult by far. I do a round-the-world trick and point blank to do a good bit of damage to the enemy before the top turret gets aimed at me and begins shooting. Once this occurs, I do need to move closer to the bottom of the screen to avoid its fire. When boss parts are destroyed, a secondary volley of attacks will shoot. This is the final stage of the demo, Stage 5, although the graphics say Stage 3. Like all the other stages shown, the present design and enemy placement of this stage may change significantly to the final release, but should present an overall theme for what the final stage will be. There are some walls that shoot a fixed pattern down that you just have to stay in between and strafe the tank shots until it scrolls far enough down the stage that you can go and maneuver to destroy the tanks. And this marks the end point of the demo. I was able to beat this with 0 deaths, deploying the arrow torpedoes twice. Thanks for watching.